Welcome back to Learning Linux with the C-Model Framework. We're currently in Module 1, Command Line Basics, and we're using the acronym COMMAND. We're currently at the second letter M. This second letter M stands for mobility, moving around the file system. Coming right out of our last lesson on mapping the file system, we're now ready to get more comfortable with the CD command. So let's take an initial look at the CD command. CD stands for Change Directory, and it's one of the most common commands in Linux. In our Linux machine, let's run the pwd command to see where we are currently. And we see that we're in our home directory, /home/sysvin. Your name will be different depending on how you created your user. Now let's use CD to change directories. One of the directories we learned about earlier is /var. So let's go to the var directory, and here we use the command cd/var. Let's now do pwd again, and we can see that we're in that directory. Now let's do the ls command, and ls lists the contents of this folder. This will tell us where we can go next if we want to go further. Let's go into the log directory with cd log. Now notice we don't need a slash, as this directory log is in the current working directory. We only need the slash if we're saying that we want to go to the root directory and then into log. But there is no log directory in the root directory. There's no log folder. Now let's do pwd, and we can see that we are in /var/log. Now say we want to go back to var. We could use cd/var, and that would take us there. But we can also, from this folder, just run cd ... And that is sort of shorthand to tell it that we want to go back one directory or move up in the file structure to the parent directory. Now run pwd, and you can see that we're back in the var directory, so we backed into it. You can also stack these, so let's go back to var log. Since we're in var, we can just run the cd log. Now run the pwd command, and you can see that we're in /var/log. Now run the command cd ... to stack these and move back two folders. Now we can run pwd, and we see that we're in the root directory. So by stacking these, we went back 2 levels. What if we wanted to go back home to our home folder? We could run cd/home/sysvin, and that would take us there. But there are a few other ways that we can go back. We can do the cd command. When used by itself, it will take us home. So let's do that now. Okay, we're now back in the home folder. So we could also do, from anywhere in the system, we could do cd and the tilde, which tells it explicitly to go home. The tilde is found under the escape key in the upper left hand of my keyboard, and it's shorthand for home. Now, since cd by itself will get you to home, there's really no reason to use the tilde. But if we are somewhere else and we wanted to go, for instance, to /home/sysvin/downloads, in other words, to the downloads folder of our home directory, we could use the tilde to say /home/sysvin in shorthand. So we could just run cd /downloads, and it knows that I want to go home and then into the downloads folder. So just think of tilde as shorthand for home. We could also do a third way, which is cd $home, and that will take us there as well. This $home is another one of those system variables like $shell and $user that we have used earlier. We can do echo $home and see the content of this variable, and you see that it is the home directory. So that's 3 ways to go home. If you want to try it, go to another folder and then try each one of these methods. Now let's do another exercise to learn more about CD. Let's go back to where we were with cd/var/logs and run pwd, and we'll see that we're there. Now let's run cd by itself to go back home. Now pwd will show us that we're now in our home directory. Now say we forgot something that we wanted to look at over there in var log. We want to go back there. We could run cd/var/log again, but there is a better way. There's a shortcut. To go to the last location where you were, just do CD dash, and that will take you back. So let's run that. Okay, now let's do PWD, and we are back in var log. And this can be extremely helpful if you were several layers deep in the file structure and you didn't want to type out the entire path to get back to where you were. You can use CD dash. Now, let me give you an illustration that might be helpful. Think of a transmission with park, reverse, neutral, and drive. I want you to think of the home directory as park. This is our place of rest. This is home. So running CD by itself is like putting it in park. It parks us back in the home directory. Now think of CD followed by a folder as drive or forward. We're moving forward. So CD documents is like drive. Now we could use CD backslash and go to root, and that's sort of backward, but we're not backing into it. We're going there directly, so drive is still a good analogy. Now think of CD ... as reverse. You can think of those dots as beeps, like a piece of heavy equipment backing up. And then finally we could think of CD dash as turning around. So now we move the steering wheel and we're turning back the other direction and going back to where we were. So I hope that illustration is helpful. Now, before we move on, here's a few mistakes people make with the CD command. Number 1, not running ls first to see where you can go. And then you end up trying to go somewhere that's not really there, that doesn't exist. So especially when you're first learning Linux, ls can help you see where you can go next. The second mistake people make, using the slash before a location when the location you want to go to is not en route. So let's go back home now with the CD command. Now run ls, and I want to go into documents. So I run CD / documents, and that is never going to work because I'm telling the system with that / documents that I want to go to documents that is in the root folder, and there is no such folder in the root directory. So I have to run CD documents without the slash. Now, the third mistake is not using the right case. Unlike Windows, Linux is case sensitive. So let's go back one directory with CD ... We are in the home directory. Try running CD documents with a lowercase d, and this is not going to work. Now run CD documents with a capital, and it does work. The fourth mistake is using the Windows backslash. Let's try to go to var log with CD /var /log, and we're not able to get there because there is no such thing, because in Linux we use a /. It's common to make this mistake because backslashes are used in Windows and most people are used to Windows, but in Linux we have to run CD /var /log. I hope this has been a helpful lesson and that you'll now be comfortable using the CD command. Get in Linux and move around and get comfortable with it. There's a lot to investigate in the Linux file structure, so make sure that you can get around. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at the letter A for absolute versus relative paths. I will see you in the next video.